Yo, what's going on, man? Today is August the 23rd, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA Show, WNBA show for today. Welcome in. For the people that are new, I'm your host, Chris. For the people that are new, this is a pretty laid back sports gambling YouTube channel where we just kind of try to find some value, man, give out some angles, and make some profit. Today, we'll be discussing the WNBA. And we got a nice little slate of 4 games on the board for today, man. So I'm excited to jump into it with you guys and see if we can find some winners, man. Definitely see if we can find some winners on the board for today. We only had one game in the W yesterday. I don't have a recap because I didn't play the game. No plays at all for me in the game yesterday. It was a game that I really just wanted to stay away from. I'm looking to my left, to the right on the screen, just because I want to just double check something, make sure I got all my ducks in a row here before we get started. Let's see. All right, cool. I think I do. So let's go through a couple of the comments real quick, and then we'll get straight into the 4 games that we have for today. Let's see. Mitchell says, happy Friday, guys. Let's cash this weekend. A lot of games, some good opportunities. Press the like button, comment, and share. Appreciate that, Mitchell. As always, bro. Hope all is well with you. Happy Friday. Chad says, hope everyone avoided the Liberty trap yesterday. I definitely did, Chad. I actually avoided it because I wasn't going to play the game without knowing if Sabrina and Fevish was going to play or not. Fevish ended up playing, but the Sabrina didn't. And I said this, just one quick thing I want to say about this comment, Chad, just made me think about. I said this 2 shows ago, and then I said it 2 games ago for the Liberty, and I said it again yesterday for the Liberty. And I think it's going to hold some weight, is that towards the end of the season, none of the Liberty have already clinched the playoff, and I don't think anybody's going to catch them because they just don't lose, whether they cover or not. Some of those numbers are going to be inflated, and I could expect Sandy Brondello to rest some of those key players. They got a big game against Connecticut tomorrow, which we'll talk about the Connecticut Sun today, their game against Chicago. But the Liberty I think at this point they've already proven they're the best team in basketball. So if they start resting some of those players on the back end, their offense isn't looking as fluid. Defensively, they have some lapses. It really wouldn't surprise me because I do think they're going to go into a little bit more of the reserve mode. I'm interested to hear what Chad thinks about that. But that's how I kind of see the Liberty as the season kind of continues on. What's up, King Predictions? Good morning to my guy Mark, always in here with the good vibes. What's up, Mark? He says good morning and crew. Let's make it a great day. Helms in here as always. What up, Helms? He says Liberty laying 7.5 tomorrow at home versus Connecticut. Jeez, bro, they're about 100 points better than the Connecticut Sun, bro. I cannot stand the Connecticut Sun. And we're gonna talk about the Connecticut Sun. He says what up? He said good morning, fam. PZ in here as well. It's his top of the morning game. Wings under 80.5 cash yesterday. Smoky Steam Bets in here as well. Says good morning, Chris. Rough week in the W for me. For me as well. For me as well, Smokey. I've been ice cold, man, but I don't hide it. I get on here every day and I talk about the losses just like I talk about the wins. He says, but looking towards the sky tonight. We're gonna talk about it. We're definitely gonna talk about it. AB says at Liberty minus 8.5 and still lost. Chad says he caught it minus 5.5, but was light, didn't trust it. I think they were minus 5.5 or 6.5 at the end of the third quarter. Because I was looking at it like, should I jump in? I was like, damn. Liberty are, I think, the second best fourth quarter team in the W. I want to say maybe even the first. They're first or second though in the fourth quarter as far as point differential. So if you catch them late in the game and it's a close game, they typically do end up, covering. And I think they did last night too. What's up, Ball Talk? Rob the Wizard in here as well. She says morning chat. Let's make it happen today. Right there with you. Mark says Libs minus 12 from night before, live bet under 152 and barely covered. I think they finished right at 150 last night. What was it, 79-71, I think, with the total was the finishing total. So, all right, let's jump into the games that we got for today, man. Four of them, and I think they're pretty good. First one we got up is the Sparks. They'll be in DC tonight taking on the Washington Mystics. This line open with the Mystics laying 3. And money quickly came in on the Sparks in this, on the Mystics in this spot. Total hasn't really moved. 161.5 is where it opens, still 161.5, and line all the way up to 5.5 for the Washington Mystics. Couple different things. Let's go to injury report real quick, and then we'll get into what I'm thinking about the game. So, Lasia Clarendon did not play in the last game. personal reasons. Didn't play in Tuesday's game versus the Sun. She's missed 3 straight games now, and at first they were calling them mental health reasons, concerns, and it could be the same thing. So those things can linger. I don't want to speculate, but I kind of feel like she's not going to be available for today's game. She has a game time decision. Same thing with Ari McDonald, who's missed the last few games as well. She didn't play because of a foot injury in that game against the Connecticut Sun. And they were still able to cover. They ended up getting the cover, even though they finished the game, I think, on letting the Connecticut Sun go on like a 9-0 run or something like that. Crazy. And that's what the Sparks do. They'll tank a game, which is what makes this one difficult, because I'm not in the business of laying points with the Washington Mystics. That's not something that I want to do. Let's see real quick. Let's just go here so you guys can see some of the layout for the game. On the Washington Mystics side, Shakira Austin is listed as probable. I think that she's going to play. She had a big game against the Seattle Storm the other day. And then Carly Samuelson, she had that hand and that knee injury. She is out versus the Sparks. She will not play tonight. And we got to remember they also traded Misha Hines-Allen as well, so they'll be down Misha Hines-Allen as well. All right, so looking at the matchup, man, the first thing that jumped out to me was, as much as I want to take the points with the Sparks because I don't want to lay with the Mystics, you guys can see the Mystics record here. It's 6-19 straight up. So I'm not really into laying 3 possessions, with the Washington Mystics at a 6-19 record at home. They've only won 3 of their 14 games as well. You guys can see that in the graphic, just 3-11 straight up. And look at their offensive, defensive, and net rating numbers: 11, 11, 11, 11. I'm not laying points with a team like that. But the thing that jumped out to the Sparks for me is, while they are really good on the road, you guys can see in the graphic on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side in the middle, they're 9-5 against the number. Even though they don't typically win just 2-12, they're 9-5 against the number as a road dog. But most of those games came as double-digit dogs. In games where they were getting less than 10 points, they're just 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the number. And they're 3-1-1 to the under in that spot as well. So none of those things really kind of jumped off the page to me at all. I looked at Washington as a home favorite. They're 1-0 straight up and against the number. The only game they were favored at home came against the Dallas Wings, which Dallas Wings should always be a dog. They were able to take care of business. They smoked them in that game too. So, Washington has been playing a little bit better. They were able to get Shakira Austin involved in that game against the Seattle Storm in their most recent contest. And they put together a really good game. They did something that they don't typically do, which was play good basketball in the second half. That's just something that they haven't been able to do over the last since I've been watching them, since the beginning of the last season. So this is a difficult game for me, man. I want to take the points with the Sparks, but I know the Sparks can really struggle, specifically in the fourth quarter. And if I go and look at the numbers really quickly, let's just go look at I'm gonna just go to WNBA.com real quick and look at fourth quarter scoring, just for teams in general, because I know the Sparks are one of the worst scoring fourth quarter teams. Let's see, the Sparks are they're fourth worst in fourth quarter scoring, averaging 18.6 points per game per fourth quarter, shooting 39%. And the Washington Mystics are are the worst fourth quarter team. 17.3 points in the fourth quarter. If we look at just the last 3 games since the All-Star break. Let's not even go 3. Let's just look at it since the date. Let's look at this since August 15th, when they came back and started playing basketball again. Fourth quarter scoring, the Sparks are the worst, 16.3 points per game in the fourth quarter. The Washington Mystics are at least averaging 19, which is tied for third lowest. So yeah, I think that's the only reason I can't get there with the Sparks. We know that the Mystics have been a really good first half team, so it's a difficult game for me to handicap. I feel like the Mystics should come out with something, but the Sparks typically cover early, and then, like I said, they just run out of gas late. This is I think it'll be a stay away game for me. Let's see what you guys are thinking here before we move on to the next one. Let's see. What's up, Jay Trinidad? Appreciate this comment. What's up, Taylor Made? Justin says, uh, I just have heard and read too much about Liberty's. Seems every clip or article has clips of different Liberty players talking about not wanting to peak too soon. I think they may just be on a mission, and I'm in agreement with that. King Prediction says, can't trust the Sparks. I can't either, but I can't trust the Mystic Clan 5.5 either. Let's see. Helm says Lynx top team in fourth quarter differential, I believe. Yeah, but New York right there, barely behind me at 1 or 2. Helms like the under 162. I would be in agreement with that. Maybe even a second half under if you can find a number. She says like the new theme song music. It's old music. They just change them out. Chad says Mystics got -3.5. Don't like it much higher than these teams are trash, and these teams probably don't want to win more than likely. And I'm in agreement with that. Both of these teams are, bottom 3 teams in the WNBA, and neither one of these 2 teams are going to the playoffs, along with the Dallas Wings. Those will be the 3 teams that we know for sure will miss the playoffs. So, yeah, in that type of a game, a winnable game for the Sparks. Also, I got to mention the Sparks haven't won a game. Man, it's been a while. Let's see real quick before we move on to the next game. Already taking too long on this one. Let's see. So the Sparks, because I did look into this yesterday too. The Sparks have lost 5 straight games. They got a win against Dallas. Before that, they lost 2. So they've lost 7 of their last 8 games. Only 2 wins in their last 10. And it's been brutal for them. Only 2 in like their last probably 18 games they've won. So winnable game, I guess. De'Arca Hamby, Rakia Jackson, I think they'll want to show out. I'd be taking the points, I think, with the Sparks. I can't trust Washington quite yet. Helm says Nisha Allen gelled really well with Minnesota. Yeah, immediately against the Aces the other day. Washington first quarter is the play, Jude says. Helping Hand says Mystics have made us so much money in the first half, but they've been dogs in that spot. And the Sparks typically spark early, and then they don't do as much late. Dylan says, yeah, the Wings won the first quarter last night, and they covered. Maybe Mystics first half, King Prediction says. Helping Hand says Mystics first half always a lock until you say it's a lock. Helm says Mystics first half is the play when they're dogs. As a favorite, I don't get there. I'm with you, Helms. You got to know the trends, man. You got to know the trends. Kendrick says Mystics first half is screaming from the top ropes. So a lot of people still liking that Mystics. I don't think it's an over spot at all. Chad says at least the Mystics can shoot. Yeah, the Sparks are very, very inconsistent. I like under. I think that's what it sounds like to me. Toilet bowl game, someone says. I agree with that. Sparks are 6-1 against the spread last 7 road games, but they've been getting a lot of points in that spot, though, PZ. They've been getting double digits, which is one of the reasons they've been covering. Last couple comments, Chad says, was lesser of 2 evils. Can't catch falling knife with the Sparks. At least need at least 7 to take the Sparks from me. Right there with you. One of the reasons why I stayed off the game. But I'm not laying 5.5 with the Mystics either. DJ Prop says, we're good, Chris. I like the Sparks first half plus the 3. Think they will be motivated at home to play well. Should tank the game away in the fourth quarter again. This kind of makes sense to me. The Mystics need a win too. The Mystics also have not won a game in quite some time. Let's see when the last time the Mystics won. The Mystics are on a 1, 2, hold on. Let's go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-game losing streak. They got to give people in DC something. They've lost back-to-back games at home since the All-Star break as well. And this will be the last game before going out west. They got a rematch with the Seattle Storm on Monday. So that makes a lot of sense for them. I think that they win the game. But I think the Sparks probably tank it late too. What up, Bissy? Says morning crew. Shakira Austin over her 21.5 points plus rebounds in his pocket. And I couldn't talk you off. She has been playing really, really well. At least in that Seattle game, they could not stop her on the pick and roll. Seattle's pick and roll defense was almost made me throw up the other day. Let's move on to Mercury and Dream real quick. This line opened 1.5 in favor of the road Mercury. It should be a bounce back spot for them. At least that's what the books anticipate. Up to 3 now. Total come down from 163.5 down to 163. So a little bit of money coming in on the under. Injury report, Rebecca Allen remains out. And then Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, I think, will also miss this game. She didn't play in the game on Wednesday. And Area Powers also didn't play in the game on Wednesday. So looking at this one, let's go here. I told you guys earlier, and I probably should have played it, but I told you guys how I was looking at that game on Wednesday. I said that the biggest thing that stood out to me was that the Mercury were traveling all over the place. Remember, I said they had played 4 games since the All-Star break. That was going to be their 5th game since the All-Star break, and the Dream had been at the crib. Now, situation's not the same as much. The Dream's still at the crib, of course, and the Dream beat this team outright I think they were catching 3.5 in that game on Wednesday. Now the Mercury don't have any travel, got a day probably to practice and go through some things, and just had to stay in Atlanta throughout that time. And they got down so early in that game. It was 6-19 at the end of the first quarter. Ended up fighting back, and the reason why they fought back, if you watch the game, was because they started getting the ball to BG. BG was a little too much for Tina Charles. Tina Charles, played her really, really as good as she possibly could, but Brittany Griner was the culprit in that game that brought them back. Kalia Copper tried her best at the second half, but it just wasn't enough. Diana Taurasi looked terrible. I can't remember exactly what Atlanta shot. I'm sorry, what Phoenix shot, but I know it was bad. They could not throw a rock in the ocean in that game. Real quick, I want to check that out. Let's see. All right, so yeah, I meant to have this up already. My apologies. So Phoenix ended up shooting 39% from the floor, 31% from the 3-point line, and that's the biggest reason why I think that they ended up losing the game. You're not going to be able to shoot 6 for 19 from the 3-point line and win if you're the Mercury, because literally that's all they do. They just want to run around, shoot a whole bunch of 3-pointers with Diana Taurasi and honestly, pretty much everybody. Natasha Cloud, she shoot them too. Kalia Copper, like they're just a jack happy team, which leads me to this. I think if I'm playing this game, while I think the Mercury, the other thing remember we talked about with the Mercury is I think while they do have a losing record on the road, you can see that they're 6-10 straight up and 8-8 against the number. As a road favorite, they've covered every game so far this season outside of that one game that they did not cover, which was the last one against Atlanta. I kind of feel like, and Atlanta's been red hot. I talked about their defensive rating, which you guys can see now is actually top 3 in the WNBA. Alicia Graves looked really, really good. Ryan Howard's looked really, really good. And they're a much better rebounding team than the Mercury. If you guys watched the game, it was a lot of second chance opportunities. Matter of fact, real quick, 16 offensive rebounds to 3. Atlanta was up. And points in the paint. Don't see points in the paint where I'm looking at right now, but there was a lot of points off points in the paint. Oh, I'm sorry, points in the paint. Mercury actually won 30-26, but second chance points is actually what I was looking for, and I don't see that right now. But that's where they kind of won the game. I think Atlanta just wanted it a little bit more. I can kind of see Phoenix bouncing back in the spot. But regardless, in the play that I like the most, I like the first half under here. The reason why I like the first half specifically to go under is because I do kind of feel like I do expect the Atlanta Dream to continue to play really good defense. And the Phoenix Mercury are a team, real quick, let me just pull this up and show you guys, well, not show you guys, but tell you guys this. The Phoenix Mercury are a team that they live and die by the 3. The Atlanta Dream have actually been really, really good defending the 3. I do think that they probably try to get the ball to BG a little bit earlier in today's game, especially if their shots aren't falling. But you look at the Phoenix Mercury offense on the full season, they shoot the above the break 3. They're top 4, no matter whether it's last 5 games, 10 games, or full season. In the last 5 games, they're number 3 at above the break 3 field goal percentage, shooting about 37%. The Atlanta Dream are actually number 1 at taking away the 3-point shot. They're allowing teams to shoot 25% from the 3-point line, which is very symbolic of what happened in that first game. I don't think Atlanta is going to, I don't think the defense is going to waver any. I do expect them to struggle to score the basketball. Their offense just hasn't been that great recently, even though they've been winning these games much more with their defense. So I like the under, specifically in the first half. Let's see. I got to figure out where you can get the best number. But if I had any play in this game, it would be first half under. I think that this is going to be a defensive type game from the tip. So real quick, I was just like thinking about this in my head this morning, and first half under stood out to me a little bit more than anything else. Um, I think the full game probably goes under as well. Right now, the best number is 82 and a half. You can get the under on ESPN Bet at -110. So under in the first half in this game would be my recommendation, and maybe under for the full game. I think probably goes under as well. But 82 and a half in the first half uh, would be my recommendation here. Let's go. Let's go to the chat real quick and see what you guys are thinking about this one. Kia Nurse's record, including Olympics, in her past 20 games, got to be disgusting. Helm says run it back with Atlanta. Chad says let's go Atlanta. Dream market has been continuously moving against me on the dream, and I continue to cash. Like it. King Prediction says no. 70% of the public bets are on the Atlanta Dream plus 2.5, and 52% of the bets on the game are on the under. I don't really pay attention to those things, but appreciate you for sharing them, King. She says like the dream again. A lot of people like the dream again. Chad reminding everybody he got the dream to make the playoffs at plus 300 and over their 12.5 wins. I like that over 12.5 wins. And I guess that means the Sky not going to make the playoffs, because I definitely think Atlanta is going to be in. And those are the last two seeds. Dirty Reg says safest thing I know is Tina Charles scoring 15 points for me. Dirty Reg, my fault. Boosie says, oops, meant 19 and a half. And 19 and a half points and rebounds for Shakira Austin. That's an even lower number. I like that, Bissy. I like that a lot. Shakira should be able to get there today, especially if they just continue to use her. Ball Talk says, gotta stay away from these kind of games. These back-to-backs kill me. And I'm right there with you. I just like the under a little bit more. The first one went under. I think the second one goes under as well. Dream are healthy, Mark. They are healthy. King Prediction says Atlanta Dream scored under 82 points in 9 of the last 10 matchups and scored under 82 in 9 of the last 10 home games. So leaning towards Atlanta Dream team total under. I just think it's going to be a defensive game, so I couldn't talk you off Atlanta Dream. I don't trust Phoenix defensively, though. They just really scare me at times. Ball Talk says if you like Ryan Howard, you're depending on Ryan Howard to be aggressive again. She can be too damn passive, her and Lloyd. Yeah, she also can just be missing. And the one thing you like about the Atlanta Dream, if you've been watching them recently, since she's returned with Jordan Canada, is that even if she's missing, she's still like out there, playing defense. And I think that's why I like the under a little bit more. Helm says Tina Charles, Jordan Canada, and Alicia Gray. They got more than Howard, and that is a fact. Alicia Gray had 20 the other day, I think. Jordan Canada, had 8 assists in one of her most recent games, and she's a beast at the point guard position, and she lock up and play defense too. So I like that. Busy says Jordan Canada should have a few rebound chances here again. Good matchup, over 3.5 rebounds in his pocket. Okay. Helm says if you like Phoenix, you're dependent on a team to play good on the road. Yeah, and they're not good on the road. 6-10 straight up on the road so far this season against a faster and hungrier team. And I'm right there with you. Calvin says Mystics money line, Dream money line, Aces, Lynx under, Dream easy with the points. Okay. Calvin says, Chris, you gotta tighten up. Bro, I'm producing the show all by myself and going through the comments. It'd be easy for me to just come on here and give you picks. Relax, bro. Just relax, man. Take a chill pill. What up, Midnight Toker? Ball Talk says he likes Phoenix. I see some positive aggression for Phoenix, especially with their role players. Sophie Cunningham couldn't buy a bucket last game. And a lot of that is what I said. They're the best. Atlanta is the best 3-point defensive team in the league last 5 games, allowing teams to shoot just 25% from the 3-point line. Okay. All right. I think we did a pretty good job. First half under for me. I like the full game to go under 2 is the only way that I would be looking to play this one. We got 2 more real quick before we get out of here. Sky and the Sun is up next. Real quick on the injury report, we got same injury report for Chicago, nothing alarming at all. And then Tiffany Mitchell is a game time decision. She has missed the last, I think, 2 games with an illness for her. So this one's pretty simple for me. Chicago has not looked great in their last few games. They have actually stunk it up in their last few games, specifically that last one when they were on the road in Phoenix. But that was a game where they were playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. And yeah, I mean, there's two ways you can look at Chicago. The first way is, let me change this. The first way to look at Chicago is that you see a team that, is regressing a little bit without Marina Mabrey, and they have struggled to score the basketball. You guys can see here their 10th rated offense over the last 5 games, 10th rated defense, which is what you don't expect over the last 5 games. And they are also 9th defensively over the last 5 in net rating over the last 5 games. One thing I know that I messed up here on the graphics is this can't be right. Their straight up record. Let me change this real quick. So the Sky are, let's see. They are, y'all bear with me for a second. The Sky are 11-16 straight up, and 11-16 on the full season as well. And then when they go and play on the road, they are 7-7 straight up, 7-7 against the number. So this is not accurate at all, but now it is accurate. So 7-7 against the number on the full season. Back to what I was saying, you can look at the Sky in a couple different ways. One is that they really struggled. A lot of the numbers are inflated because they're coming off that blowout. The other way to look at it is Marina Mabrey hasn't been there, and they really, really struggled without her. Regardless of all that, though, I'm not laying double digits with the Connecticut Sun. That's just not something I'm doing for a couple of different reasons. And this is the revenge game for Marina Mabrey or the Chicago Sky, however you want to look at it. She was traded, of course, right before the break because she wanted out. Think that's a nice storyline for the game. It's a statement game for the Chicago Sky, I think, in my opinion, as well. And like I said, just kind of add to the storyline. So biggest thing in this game, outside of that being, the Sky probably wanting to get back at Marina Mabrey, is the spot for Connecticut. First leg of a back-to-back. They actually play in New York tomorrow with travel. And that's not the greatest spot. You also got the Chicago Sky with 2 days rest advantage here. So they got more rest before the game, more rest after the game. That's automatically Chicago Sky spot, in my opinion. I know that their offense has been struggling, but I looked into it. Double-digit dogs with more rest before and after the game are hitting 61% at a 61% rate, going all the way back to the 2011 season. The Sky are 3-0 straight up and against the number as double-digit road dogs this season. They beat the New York Liberty in New York. They beat the Seattle Storm in Seattle, and they beat the Las Vegas Aces in Vegas, right, the last game before the Olympic break. So I'm not laying points. Whereas you look at this Connecticut Sun team, they're 2-3 against the number as the double-digit home favorite, and they're currently on an 0-3 ATS streak in that spot too. After covering the first 2 games of the season, that was way back in June. There's also some I think they just kind of got to figure it out as far as who's going to play, who's not going to play. They bought DeWanna Bonner off the bench the other day. I don't like any of that. So this is my favorite play actually on the board today. Chicago. This line was it opened 10.5. Well, I think it opened 10.5. I saw it come down to 8.5. Now I see it push back up to 11. I'll take the 11 easy here with the Chicago Sky. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Angel over rebounds. I don't want to think too hard. I'm right there with you. Makes sense. Tyron says Mabrey and Carter go at it. Absolutely. Helm says Sky first half or pass. I like both. I like both. Taylor says Sky team total under 72.5 and Marina Mabrey over her 15.5 points. Drop a Dime says might not be popular of opinion, but I think the Sky are poorly coached. That is not popular opinion. I think they just struggle offensively, but Teresa Weatherspoon is an old school coach. She's probably set in her ways. Helm says I don't think many people like Weatherspoon. Pretty popular opinion in his thought process. What's a good underdog player prop today? No idea. I haven't looked at underdog today, Leo. My apologies there. Helm says double revenge. Scott don't want Mabry. Mabry didn't want to be there. I agree. Chad says he took the plus 11, not thrilled about it, but can't lay double digits with fraudulent son. Right there with him on this game. And you got to think that tomorrow's game means a lot more. I mean, you never can beat the Liberty. The Liberty beat you even without, Stewie right before the break. Like you gotta have that game circled a little bit more, especially as you try to advance in the standings. This is a non-conference game. Doesn't mean as much. Dirty Rig says to me on player props, shade your opinion to home team success sometimes. Does he get burned taking road players to have good games? We never can truly bank on that. Yeah, I guess sometimes. This Sky team got to be the worst team in the league. I'll take Dallas over them any day of the week. Okay, I'm not laying points with the Connecticut Sun. What's up, Pat? He said the girls who got cut from the Sky, brown girlfriend. Oh yeah, Carries. I think it's how you pronounce her name. Was she any good? She was good. I thought she was pretty good, but I mean, she didn't get any burn off that bench. Prop says, love your pick on the Sky with the points. Also, Angel Reese, 15 points and laddering up to 20. I think the Sky giving her the green light since Kennedy Carter's inconsistent and won't lead this team. Yeah, I like the under and I like the Sky. The one thing about Connecticut is they can't score. They really, really struggle to score the basketball. All right, enough on this game. I think we did a pretty good job. It's only Sky for me, and I will be looking towards the under. Connecticut really struggles to score the basketball. I mean, they struggled against the Sparks the other day, and that's another reason why I can't lay points with them. The offense looks putrid. I mean, it's really like watching paint dry at times. I can't lay points with the Connecticut Sun. So Sky plus 11 for me, my favorite player today. Next game up, we got the Aces and the Aces and the Lynx. This line actually then flipped. It actually opened with the Aces. They were getting 2 points as a road dog, and now they're laying 2 points. So a lot of money coming in on the Aces here, thinking that they get their revenge. Of course, these two teams did just play. The Aces got smoked right out the gate. Lynx scored 98 points. It was just a lot of frustration out of that locker room. I watched the post-game interview. Kelsey Plum said she got cooked by Courtney Williams, which she absolutely did. And let me get this comment off the screen. She absolutely did. And Aces just kind of looked like a shell of themselves defensively. Even when they could score, they couldn't get a stop. Going into the game when they were 2-point dogs, this was the first time that the Aces were actually had been a road dog all season. I thought that was pretty interesting. But now, like I said, they flipped to the favorite. They're 4-3 straight up, 1-6 against the number when they're playing in a revenge spot this season. But they failed to cover the last 5 in a row. And I want to say outside of the Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx are the best home team this season, as far as straight up. So straight up, Liberty 14-2, Lynx 12-3 straight up, 80%. As far as home dog, Lynx are 2-1 straight up, 2-1 against the number as well. Which ranks in the top half of the league. It's a difficult game, man. I really, this is how I talked about this the other day. I kind of feel like the Aces are, and it's difficult to say this because they do turn it on when they turn it on. I kind of feel like the Aces not the Aces anymore. It really feels like it's Asia Wilson and everybody else. The role of supporting players has not been that great. Chelsea Gray, I think, had 3 points the other day. Kelsey Plum is a cone on defense. She really can't guard anybody. Their shots not falling. They don't have a deep bench. I like the Lynx again. I think the Lynx, continue to just that trajectory of playing really, really good basketball. And I think they can still get the job done. They're 3-1 to the under when they were a favorite of 6 points or less, which now of course they flipped to a dog. They also the Lynx 2-0 straight up and against the spread. When they're facing the same opponent they previously faced in their last matchup. So I think that's a testament to Coach Cheryl Reeves and just keeping her team motivated. We saw them beat the Mystics the other day twice after the All-Star break, and now they've beaten the Ace. Well, if they win tonight, that'll be beating the Aces again. And whoever, I think they beat the Seattle Storm at the beginning of the season. Same thing, back-to-back games, first 2 games of the season, they beat them in both. For the Aces, it'll be the first time that it's happened this season. And yeah, I think, the Lynx won their first game with their defense. With their offense. They shot 59% from the field, 58% from the three-point line. I do think we see a much better defensive effort, but it's really going to come down to, I think, how the refs call it. When I look at teams playing in a rematch within a week where the first game went over, but the game total is lower because at first it was lower, now it's actually moved up. It's 48, 28, and 2 to the under, about 63%. And a little over 63%. And I do think that this game, at least you get some effort and energy from the Aces on the defensive end. They just got to be a lot better. And I think that they will be, at least at the beginning of the game. So I like the first half under in this game a little bit more than I like anything else here. And I like the Lynx plus the 2 as a home dog here. Because I can't, the Aces got to show me, man. When they're playing against really good teams, they look really, really poor. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Sky plus 490. I don't know if I'm gonna get that spicy with it, but best of luck if you do play it. Tyron thinks Courtney Williams has another big game, 16.5 points and assists. Cash last 3 games versus Vegas. Can't guard guards, and I would agree with that. Chad says can't get in front of the Lynx. Live with the results, have rode Lynx for a while, can't jump off now. Right there with you, Chad. Definitely agree with you. Helm says, this game is so tough for me. I want to run back to the wagon. Such a bad matchup for the Aces. Yeah, man. I think Asia bounces back. I think she had her worst game of the season. She had 15 points, 9 rebounds, and like 6 assists, which I think that's a great assist number for her. But I think, when I look at the Lynx, they're a really good 3-point defensive team. They run you off the 3-point line, and you typically score from the mid-range. I talked about that in the last game. Asia didn't have her greatest game, but I think she bounces back. Just not really trusting some of those other players. We talked about it yesterday. The Lynx have, if not the best, the second best bench in the WNBA, and they're going to be at home. They know that that the Ace is going to be gunning for them and trying to get back. I just don't think they got enough, man. I'll be plus 2 or nothing. Helm says I'd be more pissed betting the Aces and the Lynx winning than betting the Lynx and they lose, and I'm right there with you, man. You can't catch that falling knife, in my opinion, that are the Las Vegas Aces. They got all of the players who were on the Olympics, and it was their star players too. I think that's the other thing. When you think about the Aces this season, it's really just Asia Wilson having an all-star. I mean, she is going to win, MVP. Like, she is the MVP of the league. She's averaging more points than any other MVP. I think she's averaging more rebounds than any other MVP. She's second in blocks and 5th in steals. So she's going to win it. With Chelsea, I think, with the Olympics and them having to go to Paris, and it was their key players as well. And outside of that, I think the other thing to mention is Chelsea Gray. Like, they just really didn't get off to a really good start without her. And now, they're not going to be able to rest their players at the end of the season the way that the Liberty are, in my opinion, as they come down to the tail end of the season. But I mean, I guess they do got a chance to kind of peak at the right season. I'm just not catching the falling knife that are the Las Vegas Aces either. I'd be going against the money on Wednesday when these two teams play. Remember, the Lynx opened as 2.5-point dogs. The line went all the way up to 7, and they ended up winning the game by double digits. So I like the Lynx here again as well. Ball Talk says, had my money on the Aces last game. Knew that bet was cooked well into the first quarter. Yeah, Helm says simply a bad matchup for him. Like when the Pacers beat the Bucks 4-0 during the regular season, including those play-in tourney games. Bad matchup. Dropping Dime says Aces are cooked. Bitsy says he likes Courtney Williams over 17.5 points and assists in his pocket. Helm says Chelsea Gray decline hurts them. No Hamby anymore. Team isn't deep. They're not deep. Even when they won last season, it was really relying on those starters. And Minnesota got a little bit more, I think, in my opinion. Taylor May says pretty much. I'm basically playing back Asia on only at her points. Her teammates need to get on her level. I would agree with that. Real Stoney says Aces definitely ain't last year's Aces, and that breaks my heart. I kind of agree with you, Stoney. I like the Aces, man. I like watching them play basketball. They're passionate. They play the right way, but they're just not the same team. But when Jackie Young gets going, good luck. She's so damn good. Yeah, she is. They need a big game from Jackie Young today to even keep this close. Dylan says Courtney Williams midi is serious. I think she's the best mid-range shooter in the league outside of Asia. And her teammate, Nafisha Collier, is also a really good three-point mid-range shooter as well. Helm says he's going under on feed tonight. Okay. Lynx for me, she says, had a great game plan for Asia the other night. Yeah, Becky Hammond should make some adjustments. She is a, back-to-back WNBA championship level coach. Mitchell says taking the points with the Lynx, like the spot, now up to 2.5 on DraftKings. You can wait, see if you get a better number. Manny got the juice, says, hey, I made it before the live show ended, finally. Yeah, good morning, Jose. Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Helm says, gotta get going early. Great show, Chris. Chad, good luck. Let's cash and see y'all tomorrow for a fun small slate. Absolutely, we'll be back tomorrow. Bill Stoney says Chicago just moved to 10.5. I should be able to still find 11. Want to see more Diamond Miller, she says. I think she's slowly but surely working herself back into the rotation, coming off that big injury to start the season. Mark says, think the line will continue to move with Pete playing with the Aces for revenge, and I would agree. And you might be able to get a 3.5. We'll see how it goes, though. I haven't locked it in yet either. Helm says he got a 22-1 Lynx championship ticket back at the beginning of the season. I think they're still like plus 900 now, but that's a hell of a price, Helms. You definitely got the best of the number. All right, let's go recap. And these are all the things that I talked about. Don't really like the Sparks as much, but I'm not laying 5.5 with the Washington Mystics with the way that they played in the fourth quarter. So if I had to play the game, I would be looking towards the Sparks plus the points. You know what? That game is actually so trash. I'm gonna take that off. I'm not red plays or plays that I haven't played. I'm gonna just say I don't gotta play in that game, but I'm not laying 5.5 with the Washington Mystics. Chicago plus 11 will be in my pocket. I just haven't played it yet, which is why it's not in green. Phoenix and Atlanta. I talked about, just thinking that both of these teams are going to play a little bit harder, and I don't expect them to play super fast. I expect a lot of shots to be missed, especially with Atlanta defense being really, really good from the three-point line. So I'll go first half under here if I do end up making a play. And the Aces and the Minnesota Lynx. That first half number is, real quick, get that to you guys. It is under 83.5. In the first half is a -130 on ESPN bet. So 83.5 is the number. Like I said, I think it's going to be much more of a defensive type game today. Let's see, under 83.5. Even if you got to get an 83, I do think it's going to be. If the Aces don't do anything, I think they'll play a little bit better defense. And I think Minnesota's a really good defensive team. Like I said, I'm only taking the points with the Minnesota Lynx today, man. That's how I'm looking at the games. What up, Bruce? Says, thank God it's Friday. Good morning. Good morning to you as well, bro. Says he likes Tina Charles over 9.5 rebounds and Kennedy Carter to get 18 points tonight. Taylor May says he appreciates the show. Thanks to everyone for the caps. Let's get the bag today. Absolutely. Bissy reminding people to hit the like button on the way out. Appreciate that comment as always as well, Bissy. Resources that I use to handicap the game are here for people that are interested. Definitely check out the Moneyball if you guys have not. I talk about them every day, but it's a lot of great trends, comprehensive analysis, and I love that you can use it on your phone too to kind of cap the games and look at the different, trends, projections, stats, all of those different things. So definitely check them out. Check out OddsJam as always. There's a coupon code for either one of those that are tied to the description of the video if you guys are interested. And yeah, that'll be the show, man. If you found it helpful, you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Share the show if you guys can. Subscribe if you guys are new or you haven't subscribed before. Best of luck on all your action. Remember to bet responsibly. I will be back on with my guy Kyle Kearns at 4 p.m. on his channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Y'all have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm out.